Maybe I fixed it. Did I fix it? Is anybody there? Okay. I figured it out. Oh, God. Y'all. Oh, my God. That did it. Okay. Here we are. Hey, y'all. Thank y'all for being patient. Thank you dearly for being patient. I got a lesson for us. I got a lesson. Thank you for hanging with me. The irony is that this lesson is about institution building and us sticking together, right, to build institutions. Insanity. Thank y'all for hanging with me. I love y'all. Hey, Asanam, thank you for hanging with me. Skip Mason, thank you for hanging with me. Baba Bakari, thank you for hanging with me. Ijeoma, thank you for hanging with me. Thank y'all for not giving up on me. Yes, Umi Nazapa, thank you for hanging with me. I know it's after 7 now, y'all, but just thank y'all for hanging with me. I appreciate you. I love you. Imara, thank you. Umi, oh my God. Umi Imoy Ese Uno, thank you for hanging with me. Thank you. Jasmine, thank you for hanging with me. Oh my God. Y'all, it was a technical difficulty and we just couldn't figure it out. But I finally figured it out. And I know it's late, but I'm going to roll on with this lesson anyway. I got a hell of a lesson. I got a lesson. Thank y'all for hanging with a bruh. Y'all, listen, this ain't the lesson, but I have to say this. This is what makes community work, right? When you can stick with a person through thick, through thin, through the happy, through the sad, through the frustrating, right? And I was frustrated because I just wanted to see y'all because we were here last week and now here we are. Thank y'all. Listen, y'all, don't ever give up on each other. Listen, this is not the lesson, but it's in my spirit now. Don't ever give up on each other. Trust and believe that if we hang with each other and if we wait with each other and if we work with each other, and Kaya Kufanya-Tana just saved my life. Kaya Kufanya-Tana, who is my media person, just saved my life. She told me what was wrong. She walked me through fixing it, and here I am. Erica Batson, I love you. Lanice Littleton, I love you. So many people called me and checked. Hey, Baba, you okay? You okay? Spiritual time's not going on. You okay? That is how community works. I love y'all for it. Listen to me. I love you for it. And here we go. If y'all would just hang with me, I got the lesson for you. Here we go. Community building, institution building, the importance of building institutions. Mombe Bongo, what's going on? How you doing? Yolanda, how you doing? Yes. I appreciate Trey. Listen, Trey Craft, you know I love you. Y'all, I'm pouring a libation to those people who gave their lives for an institution, the Black church. The Nation of Islam, black schools, black colleges, independent black schools. Come on, somebody. Those people, hey, Johnny Pledger, I love you, who poured their lives into the building of place and context. Hey, the creation of a black womb that would last forever and that would produce black people who could be proud of who we were as black people. What's going on, Balaji? This is for institution building. For those who built the black church. Ashe. If y'all don't mind, put the name of your church in this feed. Name a church where you were fed, where somebody loved you, where you got a lesson that was transformative, where deacons prayed for you, where mothers threw their arms around you. Just name a church where you would say, that church helped me out. Where the singing, a song, a person's solo, somebody singing was really, really impactful for you. Rise Community Church. Yes. Ashe. Yes. The Vision Cathedral of Atlanta. Ashe. Yes. Friendship Missionary Baptist Church. Ashe. Come on, black people. This is the celebration of black institutions. Calvary in Akron, Ohio. Come on, Jeffrey. Yes, sir. Black institutions. The cost. Somebody has paid the cost of building black institutions. Y'all listen. Black institutions are not built easily. They're not built quickly. And they are not built overnight. It takes everything that people have to build an institution. And yet, the rest of us survive because of it. So to all the mothers and the fathers, the sisters, the brothers, the aunties, the uncles, who gave their lives, who did the brick and mortar work of building a black institution, we honor you. Ashe, y'all. Ashe, Ashe, and Ashe. Oh, Ashe, y'all. Ashe, 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 Ashe. Our proverbs, our proverbs, our proverbs. Every week, we find us some proverbs that talk to us about institution building. And this week, the proverbs are about building, the process of building. Yes, 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 yes. What's going on, Mawasi? How you doing? Kyle, how you doing? Akinyele Olakunde, what's up? Jodette Adams, what's up? Thank y'all for hanging with me. Christopher Ford, what's happening? Kamaria Lawrence, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Baba Bakari, I love you. Mombe, I love you. I love y'all. You know why I really love y'all right now? And I mean all of you here. I love you because you didn't give up on this moment. I love you because you waited for me. I'm going to try not to cry. I'm talking about the principle of it. We could have done the spiritual time another time, whatever. I'm full right now. Because somebody, a whole lot of your bodies, said, my Baba is coming. He's coming. Give him a minute. He's coming. He's coming. There's a problem somewhere, and we're going to fix it, and he's coming. Oh, God. And y'all, that's how you build black institutions. That's what we got to do with our black children. We got to say they're coming, even the ones who are struggling, the ones who are having difficulty, the ones who can't quite seem to get it together, those who are smoking weed day and night. They're still coming. Ha! Ah! Somebody stay with me. Come on. Is somebody with me? Come on, Noble. Thank you for my picture. Listen, they're still coming. They're still coming. They're still coming. They're still coming. They're coming. And that's what we do in black institutions. We believe in each other constantly. We believe in each other constantly, even when it takes a minute. So our proverbs for the week. Proverb number 1. Do not build a house if you can't imagine yourself living in it. Listen, do not build a house if you can't imagine yourself living in it. Oh my God, that's about to kill me. In other words, don't participate in the construction of black institution if you yourself don't believe in it. Leave it alone and let somebody else do it. Don't do it just for your fame and glory. Don't do it just so your name can be included. You participate in it if you fundamentally believe in it. So that when it's tough, when it's difficult, hell or high water, you stick with it. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. I'm talking good. Proverb number 2. Proverb number 2. Woo! It's about to take me out. A talkative bird builds no nest. I'm talking good. A talkative bird builds no nest. In other words, close your mouth and let's go to work. Don't just talk about it. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Don't just talk about it. Let's do it now. Let's build it now. This next proverb slays me. It slays me. You cannot build a house for last year's rainy season. Somebody shout on that. You cannot build a house for last year's rainy season. In other words, you don't build an institution for what you are mad about in the past. You don't build an institution for what happened behind you. You build an institution for what you dream coming. You don't build an institution to spite somebody who hurt you yesterday. Oh, God Almighty. You build an institution for the better you tomorrow. Am I talking good? Come on, somebody. Come on. Let me leave that alone. Number 4, destruction is easier than construction. What? Destruction is easier than construction. Ooh, baby. Next proverb. The person who owns no house will not take care of yours either. Oh, God. Huh? The person who owns no house will not take care of yours either. Oh, dear Lord. That thing almost takes me out. It almost takes me out. In other words, you got to get with like-minded people if you're going to build an institution. You got to get with like-minded people. If you get with somebody and they have no commitment to institution, they're not in no institution, they have never been committed to no institution but yours, beware. Ooh, God. Next proverb. A building of sand crumbles as you build it. Y'all, press share if you don't mind. Press share. Hey, Jokai. Hey, Jokai. Press share if y'all don't mind. A building of sand crumbles as you build it. Which means, listen, what does that mean metaphorically? Get the right people. Get the right people when you're building institutions. Help me, I'm going to help you out in a minute. But the right people aren't always just the people you like. The right people are sometimes the people who piss you off and make you mad. I'm talking to somebody, but sometimes you need those people right next to you. Because sometimes what pisses you off is their truth about you. Oh, God. Listen, can somebody walk with me? Somebody walk with me. That's fine. I'm going to get there in a minute. Next proverb. Before you build a house, you have to imagine it. Before you build a house, you have to imagine it. Listen, who is the parent who has not already imagined their child's future? Who is the parent who cannot see their child already 10 years down the road? Don't build an institution if you don't already have a dream for what it's going to do. Don't build it just because you want to be included and you're lonely and you're by yourself and you don't have any significance otherwise. No, build an institution if you have a dream for the people and the dream hasn't even begun. That's when you build an institution, and that is the people you need who are going to build it with you. Listen. Woo! Listen, maybe this is why I had to start late, because this thing is winding me up. This next proverb slays the hell out of me. When I saw this proverb, I literally hollered. Many people are simply rebuilding someone else's house. Oh, God. Many people are simply rebuilding someone else's house. In other words, some people, all they're committed to is literally reconstructing what they see that you have, because they're jealous of what you have. They're just trying to rebuild, and hopefully they're thinking they're going to get the blessings you got. Don't waste your time rebuilding somebody else's house. You got to rebuild your own house. You got to build your own crib. Ooh, God. Shonda Brown, you know I love you. That thing kills me. Many people are simply rebuilding someone else's house. That thing is so deep to me. That thing is deep to me. Next proverb. You cannot build a stone wall with one stone. You cannot build a stone wall with one stone. Oh, Kelly Smith, come on, somebody, and stay with me. These proverbs kill me. They kill me. And I almost don't do them every week. And every week when I read them, it takes me out. Next proverb. Catch the bird before you build the cage. Catch the bird before you build the cage. Why? Because you won't know the dimensions of the cage without knowing the size of the bird. Ooh, God. See, if you can't see the dream, you don't know the magnitude and the magnificence of the institution that will sustain it. Somebody pull me down. Somebody pull me down, because I'm about to start running. I'm about to start screaming and hollering. I'm literally about to start screaming and hollering. If you don't know the size of the dream, you cannot build the institution. You're dead weight. You got to be able to see the institution in order to understand the dimensions of the institution it will take to bring it to pass. Come on, somebody. Am I talking good? Come on. Tammy Grimes, am I talking good? Yes. Winnie Brown, I love you. Jordan Mosley, I love you. Mose Beat, I love you. Next proverb. When you're building a house and a nail breaks, do you abandon the entire structure? When you're building a house and the nail breaks, do you abandon the entire structure? Oh, God. In other words, when you're building a structure, when you're building an institution, and something doesn't go the way you prefer, something falls apart, some idea doesn't materialize, do you abandon the whole vision? And yes, many people do. When you go to college and there's a teacher you don't like, do you quit college? Many people do. Absolutely. When you get married and one day your spouse pisses you off, all of a sudden you want a divorce. See, you're not an institution builder. You're not a transformer. You're not a seer. Hey! Because a seer can still see the magnitude of the thing even when something breaks down. I'm talking good to somebody. I'm talking good to somebody. I'm talking good to some. I know. Kelly Makoroto, I'm talking good to somebody. We quit a thing because something broke. Listen. Ooh, God. When you're building a house and a nail breaks, do you abandon the entire structure? Lord have mercy, God. Lord have mercy, God. Lord have mercy, God. You mean tell me, y'all, we can't go into these prisons and see these black boys and some girls too in prison. We don't see divinity in them. Black people, we actually see a criminal. Woe be unto a people. Woe be unto a people who cannot see the magnificence of their children when they're in trouble. That kills me. Woe unto a people who cannot see the magnificence of their own children when those same children are in trouble. Ooh, this thing is about to kill me. Listen, let me go on because that's going to kill me. Next proverb. He who builds or she who builds to every person's advice will have a crooked house. What? The person who builds to every person's advice will build a crooked house. Come on, Eddie Glord, I'm talking good. What's going on, Eddie? I love you, man. I love you. Kanara! How you doing, my sister? I love you. Pat, what's going on, girl? DC! I love you. How you doing? That thing kills me. Why are these proverbs killing me like this today, y'all? Why are these proverbs killing me? Next proverb. One generation builds the street on which the next generation walks. Ooh. One generation builds the street on which the next generation walks. Ooh, that thing is beautiful. That thing is beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Next proverb. You cannot prevent the bird of sorrow from flying over your head. You cannot prevent the bird of sorrow from flying over your head. Stay with me now, right? You cannot prevent the bird of sorrow from flying over your head, but you can prevent that bird from building a nest in your hair. Somebody's going to get that. Somebody's going to get that. You cannot prevent the bird of sorrow from flying over your head, but you can prevent that same bird from building a nest in your hair. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Woo, help me. William Mentor, I love you. I love you. I love you. What's up, man? Alice Duncan, what's going on? Hey, cuz. What's going on, Leon Hendricks? Love you. And the last proverb. You imagine a building, and then when it's built, you discover what you didn't see. You imagine a building, and then when it's built, you discover what you didn't see. Lord, have mercy, God. Have mercy, God. Have mercy, God. Have mercy, oh God. So listen, what I want to do is I want to tell you about this art of institution building. Stay with me, y'all. In 1988, I went to a place called Temple University. I just graduated from Clark Atlanta University. I got a full scholarship to go do a PhD in the brand spanking new and the first in the world PhD program in African American Studies. Yours truly, I was one of the few who were accepted in the inaugural class. Went to Temple, I'm talking about institution building. Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. Went to Temple University, 1988, and a dream literally came true. I was able to study black people on every phase and in every level of existence. Black literature, black politics, black intellectual history, black aesthetics. And it changed the trajectory of my entire self-worth. Because I learned the magnificence of my people from the beginning of time until yesterday. It was something unlike anything you could ever possibly have believed. It really was just that dynamic. I was sitting in classes with folks like Eddie Glord. I was sitting in class with folks like Dr. Greg Carr, with Dr. Karen Lacey. So many, many, many brilliant, brilliant, brilliant young folks who simply were saying a PhD in blackness, a PhD in blackness. where we actually get to study the fullest dimensions of what it means to be a person of African descent. Oh my God. Listen, y'all, we were 21, 23, 25 years old, right? And this happened. I literally would do that again if I could do anything in life over again. It was just that amazing. This was under the auspices of a great scholar named Dr. Malefi Asante. He was chair of African American Studies at the time. There were other great scholars who came along years later. Sonia Sanchez was at Temple at the time. Charles Fuller, some of these others were at Temple at the time. Dr. Nathaniel Norman became chair later on. But it was something like you had never, ever seen before. The discussions we had about Black power, about Black intellectual thought, the conversations, the debates we had about the existential nature of what it even means to be Black. Like what does it really mean, right, for us to even call ourselves Black people, right? How do we understand ourselves? Even how do we organize thinking and thought in a way that centers and that honors Black people? Listen, it was literally the birth of an entire new era. I'm going somewhere with this. Stay with me. So when I got ready to do my dissertation, I decided to do my dissertation on Black male rights, black male initiation, on how African boys became men in pre-colonial West Africa. How I pull this off is another level, right? But how boys became men in pre-colonial West Africa. I chose boys in order to narrow my subject, et cetera, et cetera. But one of the things I learned by studying this institution called initiation was that African people had a whole idea and a whole concept of how you get a person from their lowest self to their greatest spiritual and intellectual self. It was mind-boggling. It was just phenomenal that my own people, had imagined and had set out a structured strategy, had built an institutional means whereby one could evolve into one's highest self. I didn't have to go to Plato anymore. I didn't need to go to Socrates. I didn't have to bow down before Kierkegaard and Kant. Come on, somebody. Now, I could hear Ptah-hotep. Come on, somebody. I could read the Hosea. I saw ways in which my own people had set up an institutional way whereby I would discover the God within me. I'm talking to somebody. So when I left there, 1992 I finished. When I came to Clark Atlanta University in 1993, I began to wonder if we could transfer that institutional idea into the Americas. There are many places that do initiation, many places that do rites of passage, no problem. I wanted, however, to do a life cycle in terms of initiation, the way our ancients did it, the way our ancestors did it. And I began to wonder, in this different milieu, in this different cultural context, could initiation and could rites of passage still happen? Could this work, right? So as a young professor, 26, 27 years old at Clark Atlanta University in 1993, I put out a calling for any young dudes, any young cats who might be interested in doing initiation and doing rites of passage and doing a process I named Ndugu. And 13, 14 brothers came and arrived, and they are now known as the Adibayo. It has been the most remarkable process. This Ndugu Nzinga process has been the most remarkable institution building I have ever participated in. But what I want to tell you about institution building is it won't be only what you want. I'm talking to somebody. It won't only be what you conceived. It will not possibly be only what you want. And why? Listen to me very carefully. Because when God gives you a vision, your head can't hold all of what God has dreamed. Somebody's going to have to come get me off this flow. Somebody's going to have to pick me up off this flow. Your head cannot hold the totality of what God has dreamed for God's people. Your head can't hold it. So you have conceived the vision at the level, of your mental and intellectual capacity to conceive and to perceive. And that's exactly what I did, right? Oh my God, I had this vision, right? I had this vision that we were going to recreate, right? We were going to build an institution here, an initiation, and we were going to name it, and we were going to have it, and we were going to name ourselves, and we were going to create the rules and the structures, and that is what we've done. It's almost 30 years later. I didn't say 3, almost 30 years later. And Ndugu and Nzinga stands strong and stands tall today, just like it did when we first built it. And we paid for it. I'm talking good to somebody. We paid for it. It's magnificent and it is marvelous, right? And it was not free. But it has saved lives so completely that I believe everybody who has put their hands into the Ndugu and Nzinga project has a special place in heaven. I believe that. I'm telling you right now, I believe that. I believe that. Melva Sampson, what's going on, sister? I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I believe that. Institutions save people. Listen to me very carefully. Institutions have a different function than people. There's a difference between a doctor and a hospital. I can't hear nobody. Doctors can come to your house and do all kinds of work. And there are also certain processes that a doctor will say, I need to get you to a hospital. Why? Because the institution has holdings. Come on, somebody. I'm talking metaphorically. The institution has possibilities. The institution has resources that are greater than any one doctor can carry. There's a difference between a teacher and a school. Hey! Huh? I can't hear nobody. There's a difference between a preacher and a church. There's a difference between a priest and a chapel. Come on, somebody. I'm talking good to somebody on today. I'm talking good to somebody on today. Because institutions embody institutions are matrices of people and gifts. Come on, somebody. Matrices of people and gifts. Hey, Umi Karyamu, you know I'm talking to you, and I'm talking to us. And thank you for Rise. Thank you, ma'am, for Rise Community Church. Institutions are matrices of people and gifts that no one human being can ever conjure on your own. That's why you need institutions, because institutions can do, right, what no other power can do. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. And we built that institution. The first journey was known as the Adibayo. The first initiation crossing was the crossing of the Adibayo. 13 amazing, 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 amazing brothers. Amazing, amazing, amazing brothers. Zuberi and Dumani and Ato. Oh my God. Lord, it's taking me back. It's taking me back. Oh my God. Wow. Wow. And Yumi. Oh man. And Babatu. Absolutely. Oh my God. Oh my God. And Oding. Oh my God. Just amazing, 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 amazing young men. They weren't clear, and I wasn't either, of the fullness of what we were birthing. But we literally birthed an institution. We met at a tree. That's right. We met at a tree. The tree was a symbol and is the symbol in our, it's the crowning, it's the central motif in our community, because a tree stands tall. A tree grows in both directions. And that's what we wanted. We wanted to grow spiritually. We wanted to grow physically. We wanted to grow emotionally. And that's precisely what we did. We taught principle. We taught character. We taught about humility, wisdom, spirituality, nurturing, forgiveness. We taught all of these things. We taught all of these ideas. We taught all of these ideas. Excuse me, y'all. We taught all of these ideas. And the beauty of the ideas is that the ideas absolutely came to pass. The ideas worked. I'm just plugging in my computer here. The ideas worked. Now, but let me tell you something about institution building. Let me tell you something about institution building. A vision is required to build an institution. You must have a vision. But listen to me carefully. A vision is God's dream for a people. A vision is God's dream for a people. A goal is your dream for yourself. Come on, somebody. I'm talking good. A goal is your dream for yourself, and it's very important. No problem. A vision, however, is God's dream for a people. So when God gives a dreamer a vision, it's not yours alone. It's not yours to keep. You cannot own it, and you cannot do it only the way you prefer, only the way you like. Come on, somebody. You cannot do it that way. You must do it the way it was outlined, and God is going to show you ways, and God is going to show you things that you may not care for, but they are essential parts of building an institution. My God, stay with me, y'all. Stay with me. So I'm going to tell you about 7 things that you got to know if you're going to build a lasting institution. 7, 8 things. Carol Willis, I love you. How are you? That's Elder Thabiti's mother. We love you. We adore, and we're sending you good energy, mama. Love you so much. Thank you for being here. Beverly Edmond, hey, how you doing, my sister and my colleague? Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. About 7 precepts necessary to build an institution. And why is this important? Because y'all, if we don't build institutions, that is the guaranteed death of our children. It's the guaranteed death of our children. The guarantee. And the black church has been a wonderful institution that we need desperately, but we've got to have some others. And one of those has been the nation of Ndugu and Nzinga, the mighty, mighty, powerful nation of Ndugu and Nzinga, the imperfectly wonderful nation of Ndugu and Nzinga. 7 precepts you got to know. Number 1, you will not own the vision. You cannot own it. It will be modified. It will flow in different directions than you thought wonderful, than you thought correct. It will take bends and turns other than what you think you saw. You cannot own a vision. You can only help to drive it. It'll take you places that you don't like, that you don't prefer. It'll also take you places of ecstasy. It'll take you places where things you've never seen before make you cry with joy and gladness. But it's bigger than what your mind can hold, number 1. Number 2, can you still see the beauty of a vision when it includes people you don't like? Listen, can you still see the beauty of a vision when it includes people you don't prefer? Stay with me. Somebody stay right there with me and get your blessing. Listen, and let me tell you something I learned. Because a person questions you does not mean they're your enemy. I can't hear nobody. Because a person questions you does not mean they're your enemy. It doesn't mean they're against the project. Sometimes it means your ego is too fragile. Am I talking good to somebody? Sometimes it means you don't have the wherewithal to take, if you will, a critique and still see the beauty of what you're doing. If your ego is leading the vision, you're going to be constantly wounded. Constantly. I'm talking good to somebody. I'm talking good to somebody. You're going to be constantly wounded. Am I talking good? I can yell am I talking good? If your ego is leading the vision, you are going to be constantly wounded. The vision is going to include people you don't like. But here's why. Because there are people you don't like who have the key to the thing you need. Oh, God. There are people you don't like whose mastery is your weakness. I'm about to literally scream in this house. There are people you don't prefer whose very gift is the thing you don't have. Help me, oh God. Help me, oh God. And you got to grow and you got to learn to embrace those people. And you got to grow and you got to learn to tolerate. And sometimes you have to grow and learn and you have to understand that the struggle is you. It's actually you. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Because just because we don't like a thing does not mean it's not good for us. Doesn't mean it's not good for the structure. I'm talking good. This is difficult, but I'm talking good. I'm talking good. I'm talking real, real good. Now, number 3. Stay with me now. Number 3. Woo, this is for somebody too. When talking about building institutions, right? God will move people out of the way of a vision if they're really not committed to it. God will move people out of the way of a vision if they're not committed to it. I didn't say you have to. God will move people out of the way of a vision if they're not committed to it. Somebody's going to get that. It's going to bless somebody. You don't have to run after people to stay in your vision. You don't have to run after people to stay connected. You don't have to do that. God will move people out of the way when they're not committed to your vision. Don't fight people to stay in the middle of your vision. Don't fight people to stay committed to your idea. Don't do that. Because in many instances, when God is moving somebody, God's trying to help you. Huh? God is really trying to help you. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Let me go to the next one. Number 4, because someone challenges you doesn't mean, I kind of said it before, it does not mean that they mean you harm. How do you know? Look at their fruit. That's all you got to do. You might be mad about it. Look at their fruit. Look at their fruit. It's so important. Look at their fruit. Look at their fruit. Next one. Can the vision take a new direction without you thinking that it's not the vision anymore? I'm talking so good to somebody. Can the vision take a new direction? Y'all press share if you don't mind. We want to get this out to the world. Can the vision take a new direction without you thinking that it's not the vision anymore? Lord have mercy. You got to have some humility if you're going to build a black institution. You have to have humility if you're going to sustain a vision. You're going to have humility because that thing is going to look unlike what you thought it was going to look like. Next one. Stay with me. Can you see flaws and shortcomings in the project and still be clear that the project is excellent? Listen, that thing gives me life. Can you see flaws and shortcomings in the process and still be clear that that vision is excellent? If not, you're going to have to let it go. You're going to have to let it go. You've got to be able to see the flaws in the thing and still see the God in it. I'm talking good. You got to be able to see the same thing in people. Can you see flawed people as divine? You still got to be able to see a person as divine as you helping them work through flaws. And you got to be able to do the same thing with yourself. Beating yourself up is a sign that you forgot that you're God too. I can't hear nobody. I can't hear nobody. Beating yourself up means you forgot that you are God too. Come on, I'm talking to somebody. The next thing, it's going to about 10 people going to get this next one. Can you sacrifice for a vision without being mad at the time it requires? Ooh, I said it. I said it. Can you sacrifice for a vision without being mad at the time it requires? Let me tell y'all why the black church still exists. I'm about to really go in right here. Let me tell you why the black church still exists. Y'all know why the black church still exists? Because your grandmama and mine, your grandfather and mine, your father and mine, your great auntie and mine, they went to Sunday school. I can't hear nobody. Every Sunday. They went to church every Sunday. Many of them went to BTU. I can't hear nobody on here. Or YPWW, on Sunday evening, that same Sunday where they had just gone to Sunday school and church. They came back for Bible study on Wednesday evening. They had choir rehearsal either on Thursday evening or on Saturday morning. I can't hear nobody. And they did that a lifetime. They did it a lifetime. That's why the black church still exists. That's why it exists right now, because they did it so thoroughly. They did it so thoroughly that people can't destroy it. Stay with me, because the church is not in the building. The church is the idea. Come on, somebody. The building is where we do church. The building is not church. The building is where we do church. We could do church anywhere, as this pandemic has now shown us. Now we're doing church on the computer. That's perfectly and absolutely fine, because black people do church, right? We don't do the building. Listen! But they did it so thoroughly. They did it so excellently. And they went every week. Some of y'all, like me, I come from folks who I don't remember a Sunday my folks weren't in church. Is that true for somebody? I don't remember a Sunday, not now one, where they didn't go. I don't remember it. I don't remember it. Listen, I used to work in the fields in Arkansas. Some of y'all know my history. I grew up on a farm, old farm. I used to work in the fields, and I was a church musician. We had choir rehearsal on Saturdays at 5 o'clock. Never will forget it. We'd be in the fields working. At about 4:30, Daddy would come and say, all right, boy, you go head on now. Somebody's going to get this. 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 At about 4:30, 4:40, he'd say, all right, boy, you go head on now. He was telling me to go on the choir rehearsal. Why? Because I was the musician. When choir rehearsal would end, typically the day would be over, right? We'd come on to the house. So after choir rehearsal, I'd come on back home, right? But what Daddy did not do is say, hey, you ain't got to go to choir rehearsal today. Stay with me. Nor did he say, you don't have to go to the field. We're going to go to this field from 6 o'clock in the morning till about 4:30. Now you go on up to that church house and do what you got to do. Why? What were they saying? When you make commitments, if you're going to sustain something, you make the commitment and you keep it come what may. Ooh, I wish I could hear somebody on, listen, is somebody with me? That's why the black church still exists, because the blood of our people in their consistency and discipline flows like an oceanic river. I'm talking good to somebody. You cannot end it because they laid the foundation so great and so excellently. And that's what we have to do. And that's what we're fighting to do with Ndugu and Nzinga. And it is costly. It is costly. It is costly. It is costly. And the absence of it is death. The absence of black institutions is called Black Death. Ooh, God, help me. Somebody stay with me. Ooh, my folks used to say, you might not go to church when you leave here. You might not go to church anymore once you leave here. Somebody's going to get this in 1 minute. But as long as you here, will somebody shout with me? As long as you're here, as long as you're in this house. Georgine, come on now and say with me. But what were they saying? I won't give you the option of not learning the art of institution building. Because with your fool self, if you're not careful, you go out into this world and have no institution to cover you. I'm going to force one. I'm going to force you to know this process, because the day will come where it will be the only thing that keeps you. Why? Because I'm not going to live forever, but institutions can. I'm talking good to somebody. I'm not going to live forever, but institutions can. And I'm going to say something here. I thank God they made me go to church. The songs I learned sitting up in that church board now keep my crazy behind from doing things that have sent other people to the jailhouse. I can't hear nobody. I can't hear nobody. The scriptures which just fell in my spirit, which I wasn't studying at all at the time, those scriptures now come back to my mind when I'm struggling with things, when I can't figure a thing out. Now, I don't struggle getting up in the morning to go to work. I don't struggle getting up in the morning. When I open my eyes in the morning, I'm like, okay, what we gonna do? Why? Because folks who built black institutions built the black institution of this self. And I know how to sustain it. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. You don't give children the option not to participate in their own institutions, because they'll leave them, and then later on, they will be out cold in the world with no coverage. Am I talking good to somebody? Woo! The worst thing you can do is find yourself in the world with no coverage. Let me leave that alone, because I'm going to fall out. I'm going to really fall out hollering. Y'all got to really help me. All right. Woo! Next precept. Institution building teaches you the value of all kinds of people. All kinds of people. Quiet people. Loud people. Talkative people. Fussy people, people who always got an issue, nagging people, wonderful people, joyful people, happy people, depressed people, sad people. All of those people are going to be in your institutions, and all of them have a salvific function to the nature of that institution. Every single one of them. Listen, as you're growing the institution, God is growing you. Listen, as you're growing the institution, God is growing you. Because God is trying to make sure you don't throw away the very thing God sent you to make sure that your vision happens. Ooh, God, help me from Zion. Somebody stay with me. Am I talking good? Woo, listen, there will be people of all possibilities and all kinds. The greatest thing you can do in an institution, both for yourself and other people, is this one thing. It seems simple, but it will change the life of the whole institution. And that is, ask yourself one question and ask people to ask themselves one question. Do people experience you pleasantly? Do you think people experience you pleasantly? It may not be fun all the time, but do people experience? I didn't say, are you pleasant? I didn't say that. I said, do people experience you pleasantly? See, here's what that means. Sometimes I might be justifiably nasty. I might think cussing somebody else out is in order. At some point, I'm ignoring you. I might be absolutely feel like I'm justified in because of the way you treated me. Then they're not experiencing you. You might think it's fine. That's not the question. The question is, how do people experience you? Because if people experience you pleasantly, the movement of the institution will be glorious. It will be glorious. Not are you pleasant? Somebody stay with me. I'm talking to Omotosho. Not are you pleasant? Do people experience you pleasantly? Which means then you have to be concerned about how you make people feel, not whether or not you're doing your job. You got to be concerned about how you make people feel as you do your job. Am I talking good, sir? Am I talking good to somebody? Olamide, am I talking good? Y'all press share so we can get this out to the universe. This is important because we got to build some black institutions. And Nduga Nzinga is the best one I know of. One of our branches we call Rise Community Church. And I'm telling you, if you want a church, check out Rise Community Church. Another branch of Nduga Nzinga is an organization called Soul Food Cypher, right? There's a great Baba, right? A great Baba named Babu Muganza, Joe Stew, right? Who's doing all kinds of creative work and planting seeds of character and honor, right? In places like hip hop and places where people doing creative work, right? So that we can love each other, love ourselves all over the planet. See, you got to, in seed form, you got to be able to see the whole garden. You got to be able to see the whole thing as the little seeds sprout. I'm talking good to somebody, right? We have a woman named Nsombi who is teaching Spanish to black kids all over the nation. That's another branch of this community. Others are about to branch out. It's coming. 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 It's absolutely coming. Listen, another point, institution building. The ability for leadership, hear me good. If you're going to build an institution that's going to stay, can leadership submit to the same principles it teaches the followers to follow? If the people have to be in Sunday school, Pastor, you got to be in Sunday school too. Somebody's not going to like it. Somebody's not going to like it. That's fine. I've seen so many churches where the pastor don't even come to Sunday school. Sir, if the people are supposed to be in Sunday school, ma'am, you're supposed to be in Sunday school also. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. I can't hear nobody. I can't hear nobody. If you're teaching honor, the honor of the elders should be the greatest. I can't hear nobody. I can't hear nobody. If you're teaching humility, the humility of the elders should be the shining example. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. As a leader in an institution, you never move away from the precepts and the foundation of the thing. You never move away from that. You do it more and more and more and more. It may not be true, but I pray, oh God, that my humility is greater now than it was a year ago. I pray that any initiate, woman or man, right, transgender, whatever, who comes into Nduga Nzinga, I pray that my humility is obvious. I pray to God my humility is obvious. And if it's not, dear Lord, have mercy, tell me, because I want to make it obvious. I pray that my wisdom is clear to the average person who just encounters me. I pray, it may not be, but I pray, oh God, that it is. I pray that my forgiveness is quicker than the average person's. Come on, somebody. See, if it isn't, we're teaching ego. And I don't want to teach ego. I want to teach character. But I want to be character first. I want to be character first. The critique people have had of institutions is that the principles that govern the bodies don't govern the leadership. I can't hear no, listen, somebody's going to get this in a minute. I remember as a kid, the pastor and the preacher used to come to our church, right? And they'd preach, right? And then they'd come to our house sometimes for dinner. And the preacher would get the best chicken pieces. Somebody's going to get this in 1 minute. The preacher, if some pieces got burnt, mom and them would take those pieces out. You don't give the preacher those pieces. The preacher's supposed to get the best piece. Somebody's going to get this in just 1 minute. Somebody's going to get this in just 1 minute. You know what I realize now? You know what would have been a powerful moment for the preacher to take that best piece of chicken and give it to one of the children. Somebody's going to get this. Somebody's going to get this. Somebody's going to get this. Somebody's going to get it. Because it will make the child understand that the preacher understands his or her worth and value to be just as great as his or her own. Right? The dismantling of pedestals. Now, that is not the dismantling of respect. That's not the dismantling of honor. That's not the dismantling of authority, because authority is important and we need authority and we have to have it. And authority, it's important to have authority. You have to have it. But authority in character makes people follow you because they admire you, not because they have to. I want somebody to follow me because they admire me. Not because you just happen to be the one in leadership at this place and I like the place. I'm talking good to somebody. I'm talking good to somebody. Lord have mercy. Woo! And the final thing about institution building. The final thing about institution building. Don't be mad if you have to stay in place to build it. Other people may be going all around the world. Other people might be going here and yonder. But you might have to stay in place to build it. Let me say something to you. Let me say something to you. Let me say something to you. When that is true, what God has stored up for the person who stays steadfast and unmovable, those who move around the world will never see it. The magnificence of the tree is that it never moves, and yet you cannot, and it grows so strong and so tall that you cannot move it. You cannot move it. You cannot move it. It is not always a blessing to move. What I'm saying is sometimes a vision will ask you to remain in place over time. And if you'll do so, the fruit of it will blow your natural born mind. You have no idea now, and I can't make any announcements yet, what God is bringing before me now in terms of the fruit of having done Ndugu and Nzinga for 30 years, almost now 29 years. What God is bringing before me now, things that are happening to me now, right, which I'm going to make some announcements about in a minute. It's so magnificent. The very thought of it makes me wail and holler and weep. I had no idea this was going to happen. I had no idea all of this was going to happen. But I see that it's in exchange. It's in exchange for the life energy I gave in building an institution. And there are so many people who have contributed unto the life of Ndugu and Nzinga, who have given their lives for this institution, and it would not exist without you. It would not exist I have one role and one function. Umi Nazapa, you have one role and one function. Baba Olu, you got a role and a function. Umi Ma'u, you got a role and a function. Akinyele, you got a role and a function. Osizwe, you got a role and a function. Ife, you got a role and a function. And can't nobody play it but you. And without it, the institution is not going to work. Finally, a vision, an institution, is a collection of dreams. It's not one dream. A vision is a collection of dreams. And each person will carry and bring one of those dreams to the institution. I'm over here sweating now. It's worth it. It's worth it. Without them, we die. We have to have them. Don't be angry at what God asks of you, because God knows how to bless and God knows how to cover you in ways that will erase all of your frustration in one solitary day if you stick with it. Black people, build, that our children might have places where their self-worth, their self-esteem is unquestioned and unquestionable. That's what we owe them. Let's give them that. Y'all press share. I love y'all. Talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.